Hello my friends and welcome to the Electric Viking. Now I'm really liking what Renault is saying. Not necessarily what they're doing, but I like what they're saying. I like it a hell of a lot because it seems to suggest they don't want to go bankrupt like Toyota and probably Ford. They plan on actually existing in 2030. Hello my friends, welcome to the channel. If you've already subscribed, thank you. I've had heaps of new subscribers lately. Really stoked. This is a new channel and I really appreciate the support. It's just unreal. And I honestly didn't expect to see this much support, this quick of a growth of the channel. Really, really fun stuff to see. Thank you. Now, Renault have announced they are bringing out a Renault Megane hatchback. I already reported on the Renault 5 EV. I'll put a link in the description below to my video about the Renault 5 EV. That video has had a lot of views because I think a lot of people are excited for this car. The Renault 5 EV looks awesome. It looks really cool. It's one of the coolest looking cars I've seen in a very, very, very long time. And I love where Renault are going with that car. The pricing for that car makes a lot of sense for the European market. A lot of markets, in fact. However, Renault are actually building a Renault Megane E. Now, apparently the Renault Megane E-Tech will have a 60 kilowatt hour battery capacity and it will have a range of around 450 miles on a single charge. And it will have a range of around 450 kilometers or 280 miles on a single charge, which seems reasonable to me. For the size of vehicle that it is, a 60 kilowatt hour battery capacity seems like 450 kilometers would actually be a real world range, not a claimed range. So that's a good thing. Now, I don't know how quickly the vehicle can charge. That information hasn't yet been released, unfortunately. I will find out within the next couple of days and I'll make a new update to this video. So keep your eye out for that. Make sure you subscribe so you see that video in your notification feed. However, we do know that it's kind of a sister car in some way. The Nissan Ariya can draw current at up to 130 kilowatt. This means it can go from 10 to 80% of charge in only 31 minutes. So I think you expect to see probably identical numbers for the Megane E-Tech. The Megane E-Tech will actually see an official debut at the IAA Mobility 2021, which is the German motor show, which was moved from Frankfurt to Munich. Renault are saying they will provide more information once the electric vehicle is officially shown. And I'm truly fascinated to see the details. Now, I think this is great news for Europe, but even better news for Europe and for the world is what Renault is actually planning to do by 2025 and then by 2030. One of the things I love is when I hear companies planning for the future. Renault, they are most certainly planning for the future. So they are not in my bankrupt list of videos. Check out the description below to see my bankrupt list of videos. The car companies that I think are likely to go bankrupt, Toyota is one of them, Ford is another. See why I think they're going to go bankrupt by checking out those videos below. Now, the EV fight back for Renault has begun, believe it or not. The French company has committed to slashing battery costs by 60% and by reducing its motor costs by 30% by 2030. Now, Renault was actually the world's largest EV maker only a decade ago, but they've since been surpassed by Tesla, Volkswagen, and BYD in EV sales, even if you include sales from Nissan, which are, of course, their partner. Now, after seeing European rival Volkswagen sweep past it with the ID3 and the ID4, Renault has announced a strategy that depends as much on cutting the cost of its EV puzzle pieces as it actually does on new products. Now, Renault actually have 10 different EVs that are going to be on the market by 2025. But much more importantly, they plan on being a 90% EV company worldwide by 2030. Now, if you're planning to be 90% by 2030, I think it's reasonable to say that by 2025, you can pivot and say, we've changed our minds. It's not 90%, it's now 100%. Very different to companies like Toyota who plan on being only about 35% EV by 2030. Completely different. Pivoting from 35% to 100 is virtually impossible within the space of 5 years for a company the size of Toyota. But if you're pivoting from 90% to 100 and you have 5 years to do it, that seems like a reasonable possibility. Now, how's Renault going to do this? Well, one way they're going to do this by attempting to decrease the cost of its EV batteries to below US $80 per kilowatt hour by 2030, and to cut the cost of its e-motors while simultaneously shrinking their sizes and stretching the EV range of its cars as well. So Renault's planning to have cars with longer ranges that cost less. That matters. That really matters, because range anxiety is still an issue and cost is still an issue. But if Renault can reduce the cost of its batteries to below US $80 per kilowatt hour, that will mean that without any doubt at all, its EVs will be cheaper than comparable ICE vehicles. Now, you'd have to be a damn fool to buy a comparable ICE vehicle when you can get an EV for less cost. Less. That's the same car, but just way better. So you can see how quickly the world is going to transition to vehicles like this. It's just ludicrous that companies like Toyota think they're going to sell ICE vehicles, comparable ICE vehicles, for more money. It doesn't make any sense, does it? Now, CEO Luca De Meo says that the Renault brand aims to have the greenest mix in the European market in 2025, with over 65% of electric and electrified vehicles in the sales mix and up to 90% battery electric vehicles in 2030. So they're planning on having 65% of their entire fleet globally electrified by 2025. I think this sounds like it's being aggressive, but it's actually not. Because I think by 2023, the writing will be on the wall. People won't want an ICE vehicle. So they may shift that a little bit. I mean, if they can even move to 75% by 2025, that's a number that will keep them from going bankrupt. Now, Renault plans to cover its size strengths in Europe with the CMF A and B segments, and CMF B, EV, C and D segments, architectures to deliver a raft of new designs in Europe. Now, Renault has already previewed a modern EV interpretation of its 1980s Renault 5 hatchback, which, like I said, I've made a video about. I'll put it in the description below. Very cool looking car. Now, this has drawn critical acclaim as a concept, and which Renault claims will cost 30% less than the current Renault Zoe EV. So this new Renault 5 EV is going to cost 30% less than the Renault Zoe, have a longer range, and look like a car you would actually want to drive. You would actually want to be seen in. I don't know about you, but I personally wouldn't want to be seen in the Renault Zoe. My pride, I do have a bit of an ego, I must admit. But I would sure as hell not mind whatsoever being seen in the Renault 5. And I'd be happy to pay 30% less for it. Now, Renault has also previewed the Forever EV, which is a kind of a revival for Renault for the Renault 4, and they showed that a couple of months ago. Now, an EV version of the Megane C segment car called the Megane E is going to be announced in a few days. I don't know about you, but I'm excited to see it. As soon as I see more details and images of this new car, I'll make a new video and it'll be up on the channel. Thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye-bye.